Hey guys, hope you have been doing well. So today we'll be continuing Elemental Hero. I think next post is gonna be a different what if though, but I will continue this one as well. But anyways, let's start. Bell woke up feeling refreshed and ready to go. It was a new day and the perfect time for dungeon diving. He quickly got up and got dressed and ran down to get a quick breakfast. After eating, he set off to go meet Welf in front of the dungeon. After a few minutes of running, he saw Welf standing in his usual spot waiting for Bell to show up. "Hey Welf," Bell said as he slowed a stop in front of him. "Finally decided to show up, Bell," he joked. "Yeah, almost forgot about you, Welf," he joked back. They had been in a party for a while now and they joked like this all the time. They became good friends in no time. After taking a minute to catch his breath, Bell looked around at all the supporters and wished he could find one. "Still no supporter, huh?" Welf asked sadly. It pained them both that they had to leave a lot of stones behind since they couldn't carry all of them. "Yeah. Most of the supporters in my familia are busy right now. They are going with some of the higher adventurers to make more money for the familia before the expedition and can't come with us. The rest are all in parties already," he told them. "That sucks. It'd be nice to have one," Welf said. "Speaking of supporters, misters." "Hey misters," a voice said behind them. They both turned around and saw a backpack. "Down here," the voice said. Oh, that's where the voice came from. The voice belonged to a short girl carrying a comically oversized backpack. It was a wonder how she didn't buckle under its size. "Are you in need of a supporter? I couldn't help but overhear you two talking about one," the small person said energetically. "Well, yeah, actually. Would you mind joining us?" Welf asked. "Yes," she exclaimed. Bell, however, recognized her. "Hey, aren't you that prom from the other day?" he asked her. "Other day?" Welf asked, confused. "Yeah, the other day I ran into a prom being chased by some adventurer trying to attack her when I stepped in. She ran off shortly after," he explained. "I'm glad you're safe," he added. "Prom, I think you have me confused with someone else. As you can see, I am a chinthrope," she said as she pulled her hood down to reveal some dog ears. "Huh," he said, confused. Was he mistaken? He could have sworn it was her. "Guess you were mistaken, Bell," Welf said. "I guess I am," Bell said, still unsure. "Hi there, supporter. My name is Welf," Welf said, introducing himself. "Oh right. Hello. My name is Bell Crenell. Call me Bell," Bell said, forgetting that they haven't introduced themselves. "My name is Lilyruka Ard. Call me Lily," the Prue Chinthrope girl said. Bell was still thinking it was the same girl from before. "All right then, let's head off," Welf said, leading the way into the dungeon. "Come on, Bell, or we're leaving you behind," he said as Bell stood there still confused about everything. "Hey, wait up," he yelled as he ran to catch up with them. Elsewhere. "Come on, Fi," Loki said, pleading with the goddess of the forge. "No," she responded. "Why, Newt?" Loki whined. "Because I said so," she responded. Behind them their respective captains just sighed. "Is this what you have to put up with?" Tsubaki, the Hephaestos Familia captain, asked Finn. Sadly, "Yes, she's very, how do you put it, persistent," Finn replied. "Please," she asked while doing her best puppy eye expression, which was odd as she hardly opened her eyes. "I'll still pay whatever price you ask," she added. The goddess just sighed as she knew Loki wouldn't give up. Normally she'd make any request for the right price, but what Loki was asking was borderline blasphemy. She was asking her to make a first-class weapon for a novice rookie. Sure, she could do it, but it would be an insult to smiths everywhere as no one would be able to top it. And she wasn't too keen on using her skills for a rookie even if Loki kept pleading. "I'm already lending you a ton of my high smiths for your expedition, what more do you want?" She tried to reason. "Just this, please," Loki pleaded again. This was seemingly going nowhere. "Hephaestos, everything is clean now, huh, Loki, no boobs." A short goddess came out of nowhere. She had been living with the goddess of the forge ever since she came down from Tenkai. At first, she was just a freeloader, but now Hephaestos forced her to get a job and she's been working to earn her fill. "Can it shrimp?" Loki retorted. She didn't have time to deal with her. "Thank you, Hestia. As you can see, I'm a bit busy at the moment," Hephaestos told her. "Obviously," Hestia said as she walked away. Where were we? Oh right. Please. Loki begged. You're going to keep asking until I agree, aren't you? Hephaestus asked. Yup, she said. Fine. Just to keep you out of my hair. Hephaestus said, finally caving in. Yes. Loki cheered. You're going to pay for it, right? She asked. Of course. Loki responded. All right. What weapon does he use? She asked, trying to image how it would turn out. He uses a sword. If I may ask, can you use mithril? Loki requested, knowing what it does. What for? Can he use magic? Hephaestus asked. Yup. Loki responded. A rookie that know magic. Interesting. I hope I won't regret this. Hephaestus thought to herself. All right, but this will take some time. Unless you help me, she told her. Do I have to? Loki whined at the prospect of working. If you want to get it done faster, then yeah. Hephaestus responded. Ughh Fiend. Come on, Finn. You're helping. Loki said. But I don't have the foggiest idea how to smith. Finn said with a sweat drop. You'll be fine. Tsubaki said as she followed their goddesses. Will it though? Finn thought to himself as he followed them. Ellipsis. Master Bell, watch out. Lily shouted as Bell dodged a War Shadow's attack and cut it in two. Master Welf, behind you, she said, warning Welf of a killer ant. Welf jumped to the side and swung his greatsword down, cutting the ant in two. Thanks to Lily being their eyes and watching their backs, Bell and Welf had a much easier time taking on larger hordes of monsters, which resulted in more magic stones and way less injuries. With Lily being their eyes and hauling the loot, they were able to reach the 6th floor easier and faster. With Lily here, they might be able to reach the 7th floor. After taking care of the monsters, Lily went straight to work on collecting their stones, giving Bell and Welf time to catch their breath, which was something they greatly appreciated. Man, having a supporter come along is really helpful. Welf said after sitting down. Yeah, having someone else to watch our back while we're fighting is amazing. Bell said, agreeing. Hey Lily, do you need any help? Bell said, offering his help. No, it's okay Bell, Lily's got this. Lily told him. This is all that Lily can do for the party. Lily carries everything while the adventurers do all the work. She added. Bell thought it was a bit odd, hearing Lily talk herself down. It was his first time hearing someone put themselves down so much. Of course, other than Raoul. We're making great progress, wouldn't you say? Welf asked Bell. Yeah, normally we'd still be making our way here. At this rate we'll get to floor 7 in no time. Maybe even floor 8. Bell told him. It's because you're both strong adventurers. Lily told them. Nah, it's because you're here Lil. Not having to worry about picking up the loot and hauling it everywhere is nice for a change. Welf said. It's Lily. She yelled. Whatever Lil. Welf said, obviously messing with her. Grr. Lily growled, obviously not enjoying this. Calm down you two. Bell said, trying to make sure Welf lived to see tomorrow. But he had to admit that it was fun seeing them interact like this. Alright, I'll stop. Welf said. For now. Come on. There's still monsters to kill. Lily said as a few monsters turned around a corner ready to fight them. Let's go. Bell said as he drew his sword and charged at them. Right behind you. Welf said, drawing his great sword. Wait for me. Lily said shortly after and took off behind them. 45,000 Valis. The three of them yelled. This is more than double the amount we usually get. Bell and Welf said, not believing their eyes. You two are amazing. Lily said. I never realized how important having a supporter is. Well done, Lily. Bell said. Please, I didn't do much. Lily said, not used to being praised. Nonsense. You lugged all those stones and loot for us Lil. Normally we'd have to leave a ton of things behind, but with you here we don't have to worry about that. Welf said, adding his 2 cents. You guys would have been fine without me. Anyway, it's time to divide the loot. Lily said, getting nervous. Here we go. 15 for you, 15 for you, and 15 for me. Bell said, handing out 15,000 to everyone. Hell yeah, now I can get that hammer I've had my eyes on. Welf said as he eyed his share. Lily said, confused as to how much she got. Surely, they did their math wrong. Right, excuse me, I think you gave me too much. Lily said and immediately regretted it. She could have gotten so much and now they're going to take it all back. No, I have my 15,000. You Welf. Bell said, double-checking his pouch. Got my 15 now. Here too. Welf said. Wait, you're sharing it evenly? Lily asked, confused. Well, yeah, we never would have made this much without you, Lily. Don't you agree, Welf? Bell asked his friend. That's right. Like I said, we usually have to leave loot behind. You carried everything for us and more than earned your share, Lil. He told her. Wah. She was left stunned by their kind words. No one had ever been that nice to her before. It's been fun working with you, Lily. Do you think you could join us again? Bell said, holding his hand out for a handshake. Lily definitely was not expecting such kind words and actions. She looked over at Welf, who was smiling at her in approval. Maybe these adventurers were different. She shook Bell's hand, still thinking about what just happened. While they were walking out of the guild exchange, a certain goddess of beauty had her eyes on Bell. She had been surprised at seeing a new soul color and enjoyed watching it grow as he grew. It was a kind soul that had gotten brighter as he formed more friendships and met new people. She wanted him all to herself, but there was one small problem stopping that. He was in the Loki Familia and Loki would not like having one of her members stolen by her. So she was forced to sit back and watch from a distance. He's made a new friend, I see. She said happily. She loved to see her favorite soul shine more when meeting new people. I just can't help myself, she said to herself as she made her way to her large bookshelf. She was searching for a grimoire that would help him grow exponentially. She was reaching for one, then stopped. No, this won't do. From what I hear, he already has useful magic, she said as she walked away from the quick cast grimoire we all know. Maybe this one, she said as she grabbed another one. I'm afraid of what this one will cause with him and the blonde, but I'll deal with it later, she said excitedly. She knew that she could deal with a certain princess when the time comes, but for now, she wanted to see just how her new toy would entertain her. I'll admit, I'm not too excited to write in Freya interrupting with our favorite couple, but it would be too out of character for her not to. Unless you guys don't want me to. I'll have to change the later part of the story a bit and this part a bit then to see how fast I can get our favorite ship to sail, but I wouldn't mind doing that. Let me know what you think, cause I don't know if it's been done before and I wouldn't mind writing our favorite ship with little distractions. Back with our rabbit, he had just parted ways from Welf and Lily and made his way back to the manor. He was going to go back to his room and take a quick nap, but a few of the members called him over to eat with him. He gladly made his way over and sat with them. He didn't know if it was completely true, but he heard that eating with others made food taste better, and so far it's been true. After a few minutes went by, Finn, Rivria and Gareth had made their way down to eat and they joined Bell to talk about his magic. Hey there, mind if we join you? Finn asked him. Of course not, Bell said, motioning for them to sit down. Thank you, Finn said as he sat down. After a few minutes of small talk, Finn got down to business. He wanted to see firsthand how good Bell's magic was, and at the rate he was growing, Bell would be joining them on expeditions in no time. Hey Bell, tomorrow we would like to join your party and see firsthand how your magic works. Don't worry, we won't get in your way and will only interfere if a situation arises. What do you say? Finn asked. He didn't like being so nosy, but he'd be lying if he said he wasn't at least a bit curious to see how his magic was. Sure, I'd love to, Bell said, excited at the prospect to show off in front of the captain. Excellent, Finn said, happy that he agreed. So lass, how far have you made it in the dungeon? Gareth asked, wanting to know how far Bell had made it into the dungeon. Well, since we added a supporter we started to explore the 8th floor a bit, Bell said a bit shyly. They had gone to deeper and way more dangerous floors on a regular basis, so something like the 8th floor was nothing to them. They on the other hand were surprised. First at learning that Bell had formed a party of his own, and second that he was already at the 8th floor. Sure, his status was barely enough to make it there relatively okay, but he had barely been adventuring almost a month now. The 8th floor. I'm impressed, Finn told him. Who's in your party? Finn asked. He needed to know if his members' party was safe and, more importantly, if his life was safe in their hands. The first member is my friend, a smith I met a while ago from the Hephaestos Familia. Bell begun by explaining Welf a bit. A Hephaestos smith, I suppose that's fine, Finn thought to himself. And recently we added a supporter to our party from the Soma Familia, I believe. Belle added, Soma Familia, I haven't heard great things about them. I think I'll look into them a bit. Finn thought, trying to remember everything he knew from that familia. Who else? Finn asked. Well, that's it, Belle said shyly. That's it. I guess a party that size should be fine on the 8th floor. Finn reasoned. I'll need to talk to this supporter. That's all right. Is that your reward from today? Finn said, pointing at Belle's bag of coins. Yeah, this is my share. 15,000 I believe. Belle said. 15,000. Don't tell me you cheated out your party members. Finn warned. What? No. This is my share. Together we made 45,000 valis. We split it evenly. Belle told his captain. 45,000. For a party of 3. I find that hard to believe, but my thumb isn't telling me he's lying about it either. Finn thought, a bit surprised by it. Very well, Finn said. I'm going to head to bed. Belle said as he finished his food and took off to get ready to go to sleep. That seems a bit much for a low-level party to make, Riveria said, voicing their thought aloud. You think? Oh well, good for them. Though I'll admit I'm about worried about that supporter. Gareth added. Yeah, Soma Familia right. I haven't heard that many good things about them. We'll have to make sure she's not one of them. Finn said. A few feet away from them at another table, a certain sword princess had heard what they were talking about. But she was mainly focused on one minor thing. The 8th floor. Her curiosity was piqued when she had heard Belle say he was exploring the 8th floor. She wanted to see just how fast Belle was improving. Ellipsis. Morning had come fast and the rising sun signaled the start of a new day. Belle hadn't slept as much as normal, as today the top 3 were going to be watching him in the dungeon. Sure, this meant that they probably wouldn't die with them around, but he was still nervous. After his tragic mind down, Riveria had told him what happens when he uses too much magic and also what happens if he were to mess up the chant. The last part scared him more, as if he used too much magic he'd simply pass out, not explode. He found himself ready before the others and just waited by the front gate for the executives. While waiting, he heard the sound of a sword slashing through the air and looked for the source of the sound. He eventually found the source. It was the sword princess practicing. He was watching from afar, completely entranced by her and her skills, when the other 3 eventually found him and decided to mess with him. You know it's not nice to stare, right? Riveria told him in a stern voice. Haii. Belle yelled in surprise. The other 2 were too busy laughing to make fun of him. What's going on? Ace said, appearing right behind Belle, causing him to scream in surprise yet again, which led to the other 2 falling to the floor while laughing even harder. It's nothing, Ace. We're just laughing at Belle's expense, Riveria said. Okay, Ace said, a bit confused. She was wondering why they were laughing, but she was mostly focused on why Belle was still scared of her. Minnie Ace was sad that she might have scared him. What are you doing this early? She asked. Usually, she's the only one up and around in the morning. Oh, they were interested to see Belle's magic, and so we're all going to go watch Belle and his party, Riveria informed her. Oh, can I come? She asked. I don't see why not, Riveria said. Anyways, it's about time we head off. Let's go, she added as she made her way out. The rest soon followed afterwards. Even though it was early in the morning, Orario was still busy with adventurers heading to the dungeon for an early day. Standing in his usual spot was Welf, who was now accompanied by Lily, which were in another argument. Who knows what it was this time? Belle just cleared his throat loudly, which alerted the 2 to the first-tier adventurers behind him, which made them freeze for different reasons. Welf froze as soon as he saw Riveria, knowing that she might just blast him right there and then for what his ancestors had done. Lily froze because she thought they knew what she was and was done for. Hey there, you guys. Meet Finn, Riveria, Gareth and Ace from my familia, Belle said with a sweat drop from their antics. You guys, meet Welf and Lily, he said to his familia members. Hey, I know I suggested we should get new party members, but I wasn't expecting your top members, Welf said, trying to laugh it off. No, they're here because they want to see exactly how my magic works, Belle told him. Oh, wait, why don't you just try it at your place? Welf asked. Because we happen to like our home and don't want it full of holes, Finn said bluntly. Oh, right, Welf said. Well, Let's head on in. Belle said. Okay. Welf agreed as they entered the first floor. Just a few yards away we can see 3 people following our rabbit and his party. I don't think this is a good idea, said one of them. That's because you're stupid, the other replied. Plus, I'll follow the captain anywhere, she said. Oh, it's the twins. Hey, who you calling stupid? Tiona shouted. Come on, we're going to lose them. Hurry up, Lefia, Tione said as she dragged her sister along. That human, the elf said before chasing after the other two. Ellipsis. It had been 2 hours since they had entered the dungeon and this overpowered party was barely on the 8th floor. So far only Belle's party have been doing all the fighting, protecting everyone. Finn had suggested for them to do this as a practice test for when Belle eventually joins them in their expeditions. Belle didn't think he would be joining them anytime soon, but Finn told him to do it either way. It was more exhausting than usual for Belle because his job was to jump back and forth from the front to the rear to keep everyone safe while Welf cleared the way with Belle joining in every now and then. Lily would normally be barking out orders, but she was too intimidated by Finn and the others to say a word. She just collected the stones and let them do all the work. I know who you are, Prum, Finn said as he helped her with a stone. For a second Lily faltered as she was disguised as a chinthrope and tried to play it off, but Finn wouldn't let her. Don't. I did a little research on you last night. A sneaky Prum with sneaky hands stealing all sorts of items from adventurers. Don't get me wrong, I'm not here to turn you in. My member sees you as someone he can trust, and as his captain, I have to make sure he's safe. He's not like the adventurers that have mistreated you in the past. Though I know you already knew that, Finn told her. Don't cross him, he warned. Belle didn't hear any of this. Finn made sure of that, and instead continued jumping from monster to monster, swinging his trusty sword and cutting the monsters in two from left to right. After taking a few minutes to catch his breath and recover his mind, Finn had him use his magic in many different ways to see the potential it can bring. Belle wanted to keep going but saw that Welf also was having a hard time. Hey Finn, is this all you needed? I'm sorry, but I think me and Welf are spent, Belle said, still out of breath with Welf the same way. Yeah, I hate to admit it, but I need a break, Welf said, embarrassed that this was all he could do in front of the first-class adventurers. That's quite all right. Please forgive me. I wanted to test your limits with this plan while you're exploring a new floor to see how you can adapt. Believe me, I am impressed with how you two handled it, Finn said, praising the two. It may seem weak, but it's best to admit when you're tired and need a rest. Being too tired to fight can cause problems if you're surrounded by monsters. Finn added. Take a break for now, we'll head back soon, Finn said. Are you all right? Aze asked Belle. Yeah, I'm all right, just out of breath, he reassured her. That's good, she said with a small smile. For Belle it may as well have been the sun, as he thought it was so bright. So obvious, Riveria thought with a smile. She had been impressed with Belle's progress as he had improved his magic and was able to chant faster than last time he did. All he needs is to improve his sword skills. Thinking of a way how, she remembered what had happened this morning. Ha ha ha, you'll have to forgive me later, Belle, Riveria thought with a smirk. This should be fun. Hey Belle, I noticed that you could use some work with your sword skills, Riveria said as she walked up to Belle and Aze. Wouldn't you agree, Aze? She asked. Yes, she said after thinking about it. Yeah, all I know is what my grandfather taught me and what I taught myself. He always said that there's always more to learn, Belle said. That is very wise of him. But the point still stands, you could learn a few tips, Riveria said. Yeah, that'd be great, Belle said. Well, why don't you have Aze teach you? Riveria suggested. Aze, teach me? Belle asked in disbelief. What do you say, Aze? She asked her. Sure, she said. It could be fun, she added. Wait, really? In that case, I'm looking forward to it, Belle said happily. She said with a nod of her head and another small smile on her face. She never trained with anyone other than the top 3, but seeing Belle so happy made her want to try her best. Both her and Minnie Aze were looking forward to it. No, a shrill voice echoed through the dungeon. Immediately everyone leapt into a defensive stance. Shut up, bonk, ouch, everyone collectively thought. Who's there? Finn shouted. It's me, Captain, Tion shouted rounding a corner. Sorry everyone. These two wanted to stalk you. Tiona said casually, walking next to her sister with her hands behind her head. Tiona, don't word it like that. Leffia whined to her friend while carrying a large backpack. You. Riveria sighed, trying to stop her headache. Gareth found the situation funny and just laughed, while Finn wasn't the least bit surprised at the reasoning, at least from Tion. Stalking. Stalking who? Aze asked. I wonder who. Everyone thought while looking at Leffia and then at Aze. At least Tion was obvious, which, granted, didn't make it any better. Why do you have a backpack, Leffia? Finn asked her. I don't know. Tion made me carry it. She explained. It has our things, Captain. I thought since we're all here we can spend some time on the lower floors. Tion reasoned. Well, there's a better time and place to ask this, but I guess we still need more Valis. Finn thought out loud. Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's just go back and get our things and then we'll head down there. Finn told them. Not to worry. I packed everything. Tion said, handing everyone their things. Wait, where did you get this? Riveria asked as she looked through her things and saw everything that she usually takes. Not important. Tion said cheerfully. I suppose we'll just head back to the surface then. Belle said, knowing that they'd be useless on the lower floors. No, come along with us. It should be a great learning experience. We'll show you all the way to floor 18, then head back to the surface as I need a few more things. Finn told them. Are you sure? We'll only slow you all down. Belle said, not wanting to be a burden. As much as I'd rather not admit, he's right. We're only level 1 and are nowhere near as fast. Welf said. Lily quickly agreed with them. You'll be fine. Plus, you'll all be going down here one day and it's best to learn everything firsthand. Finn reasoned. The middle floors should be a walk in the park with all of us here and you three supporting. Finn said. Quote ellipsis. Well, if you two are okay with it. Belle asked his party. No arguments here. Though if I die Hephaestus won't be too happy with you. Welf joked. Me too. Lily said. Well, it looks like we have your answer, Finn. Belle said. To his captain. Excellent. Let's go. Finn said, leading the way. After a few minutes of walking, they made it to floor 10. The first thing Belle noticed was the fog. This is the fog of the 10th floor I've heard about so much. Belle asked. Yup. Though this is the first time you've been here, right? Don't get too intimidated, it only gets worse from here. Finn said nonchalantly. Worse. Belle thought to himself. Worse it did. The fog only got thicker and thicker as they walked through the 11th and 12th floor. Upon entering floor 13, Finn warned them that the middle floors were different from the upper floors, with different monsters too. The first thing they saw was an Almirage. Mr. Bell? Lily asked. Yup, that's definitely Bell. Welf responded. Everyone just snickered at Bell being compared to an Almirage. That's an Almirage, Bell yelled. All of a sudden, the Almirage's face turned angry and pulled out an axe. Oh, Mr. Bell is angry. Lily said, trying to hold in a laugh. Calm down, Bell, Welf said, and then proceeded to laugh, which in turn caused everyone to laugh. Even Aze was laughing at Bell's expense, which Bell normally would have thought to be the best thing ever, if he wasn't about to be gored by the small rabbit. That's an Almirage, Bell said as he stabbed the monster. It may be a higher level monster, but its defense was poor. That's why they attack in groups. A few more Almirage popped out of nowhere, which were promptly dealt with by the executives. After a quick warning by Finn to stay alert, though everyone could still see that he was holding back a laugh, they continued onwards. A little while later, a couple of hellhounds showed up and started shooting their magic at the group. The twins and A's were at the front taking care of the monsters and slicing through their attacks like it was nothing. A stray hellhound had circled around the back and was about to shoot its magic at the unsuspecting Leffia when Welf intervened. Blaze forth, heretic magic. Will-o-wisp. After Welf finished his chant, the hellhound had an Ignis Fatuus and exploded. Wow, that's handy, Bell said. Isn't it? Welf said proudly. It may be one spell, but it was definitely handy. Impressive, Finn said. He thought if he ever had to fight against something or someone that uses magic, he'll call on Welf. Wonder if that'll ever happen. Thank you, Welf said while helping Lily out by picking up some stones. He may not be able to help out by killing the monsters, but he can at least act as a supporter and help carry the stones. After an hour of walking they made it to floor 17. Luckily, there weren't many minotaurs that spawned and the twins and A's as usual took care of everything. While Bell wasn't fighting, he was still scared as hell, especially remembering his first encounter with a minotaur. It wasn't a pleasant memory he wished to relive. Luckily for them, Goliath hadn't respawned yet and they were able to walk through to floor 18 without a hitch. And here we are, the underground resort. Tiona shouted, happy at the prospect of not having to fight anymore and so that she could relax. Woo, the three-party person said in awe of the scenery. It's beautiful, isn't it? Finn asked them. You can say that again. Welf replied. Yeah, I remember the first time I was here. Finn told them, remembering his first time there. How many decades ago was it? Gareth joked. Too many. Finn laughed. Come on. Even though it's beautiful and monster can't spawn here, they can still wander in here from the upper and lower floors. He told them. Where are we headed? Bell asked him. We are going to the town. Finn replied. Why there? Everything's expensive down there. We can just camp out here. As usual, can't we? Tiona complained. While Tion is an apparent expert packer, Tion smiled brightly, clearly proud from Finn's statement. I doubt even she could pack out tents. Her smile quickly dropped. Don't worry about it. Everything's on me this time. I've been pushing you all too much, I'll admit. So let me at least do this for you all. Finn told them. Thank you, Captain. Tion said, happy that her beloved was being so nice. You sure, Finn? I've had my eye on some weapons there. Tiona said. Don't make me go broke, please. Finn said tiredly. No promises. Tiona giggled. After some more walking and admiring the scenery, our party found their way to the town and headed straight for an inn. Their plan was to spend the night and show the new party around a bit more before returning to the surface. On their way there, the veterans noticed that the lackluster town was even more quiet than usual. Had something happened? Upon arriving at the inn they were planning on staying, they noticed there was a large crowd in the entrance, which was odd. Finn went to check it out, quickly losing Tion, which didn't last long as she cleared a way for everyone, who quickly followed, eager to see what the commotion was about. After making their way to a room, they found the leader of the town, Boris, standing outside a room. Boris, what's going on? Finn questioned him. Oh, Finn, it's terrible. There's been a murder. Boris told him. A murder? Finn asked. Unfortunately, murders weren't that uncommon, but they were still out of the ordinary. Yeah, damn shame. Everyone's on edge, and it's bad for business. Boris said. Can you show us the body? Finn asked him. Sure. Prepare yourselves, as this is pretty gruesome. He warned. Boris turned and led them into the inn. At the end of the hallway was the owner, a cat person, standing outside a room. If you don't have the stomach for this, I suggest waiting outside. It's not pretty. He warned them again. In the room was a headless man lying face down on the floor. His head wasn't exactly cut off, more like crushed. There was blood everywhere. This was not a pleasant sight. Oh God, Tiona said, horrified by the scene. It's terrible, Tion added. Given the twins' past, they weren't too frightened by this. Who would do something like this? Lefia asked sadly. Bell was left horrified by what he saw. This was not a sight for the light-hearted and young like Bell. It was the first time Welf saw a dead body too, but being older and more mature, he took it better than Bell did. Lily jumped at the sight of the body, but living the life she has, she's seen something like this a few times. Doesn't make it any easier. I think I'm going to step out. Bell told him. They all just nodded. That was a totally normal reaction to seeing their first dead body, and even if it wasn't, no one would have said anything either way. Welf followed shortly after. There was so much blood. Who could do such a thing? Bell thought to himself. How are you holding up? Welf asked Bell as he caught up to him. I think I'm all right, he told him. Okay, I'm gonna take a walk to clear my head. Wanna come along? Welf asked him, hoping to take his mind off things. No thank you, I think I'll just stay here. Bell told him. He didn't want to do anything at the moment. His head kept going back to the body and all the blood and couldn't get his mind off of it. All right then, I'll be back, Welf told him as he walked off. Bell watched him walk away and his mind went back to the earlier scene. No matter what he tried thinking of, his mind always went back to the blood and he wouldn't lie, it scared him a bit. How are you? Ace asked him. Ace, I'm fine, thank you. Belle told her. That's good, she said. There was a moment of awkward silence between them as neither of them knew what to say to the other. Ace had come out to check up on Belle. She knew that Finn would handle what was happening in there and she wasn't too happy about some of the comments made by Boris and the owner about the girls. I was worried about how you were doing, she told him shyly. Truthfully, she was worried about him. This wasn't ordinary. Plus this was supposed to be nice trip down to floor 18 and show him around, not see a dead person. Thank you for worrying. Belle replied. She was worried about me. Belle thought to himself. Has she seen something like this before? Hey, Ace, can I ask you something? Belle asked her, wondering if this was something he should be asking. Sure, she replied. Have you seen a dead person before? He hesitantly asked. She was silent for a moment thinking about the question. Yes, she told him. Did you know them? He asked. Not personally. I knew of them but I didn't know them. She said. How did you handle it? He asked. He didn't know what to make of it. Was he supposed to go on and pretend he never saw a thing? It was obvious a monster didn't do this, an actual person killed him. How could someone do such a thing? I don't know. I just kept getting stronger. Ace said. She didn't want to tell him that she didn't let it bother her and she kept on her single-minded advance to get stronger. It felt wrong now that she's thinking about it. Oh, Belle said. He didn't know what else to say. Ace didn't either. She wanted to help him out with this but didn't know how. If Riveria were here she'd know what to do. Sorry, this is the first thing you saw down here, she said to him. It's fine. Do they know what happened? He asked her. Not really. They know he was here with a woman last night but no one knows where she is. She said. He's a second-tier adventurer so whoever did this had to be somebody strong. She said. That's not good. Belle said. No, it's not. Finn said, exiting the building and joining them. I'm sorry Belle, but it looks like we won't be sightseeing anytime soon. Finn told him. It's all right. This is more important. Belle responded. So, what's going to happen now? He asked. Well, now we have to round up everybody in town to see if that woman is still here. My instincts tell me that she is still in town. Finn said. We better get started, Riveria said as she joined them followed by the others. Yeah, before whoever did it gets spooked and runs off. Gareth said. Can you all help with gathering everybody? Finn asked them. Of course Captain, Tion said enthusiastically. We've got nothing better to do so sure. Should be fun. Tiona said. Of course we'll all help. Riveria said. All right, meet back here in half an hour. Finn stated, sending them off. The half an hour soon passed and everyone was soon rounded up and Finn explained to them as to why they were all there. He informed them of the murder and how they had to check with all the women to see if they had done it. Boris and the owner would have had a field day if they had it their way. Riveria calmed everyone down saying they'd do the inspecting. All the women immediately ran towards Finn pleading for him to do the searching for, reasons. Tion quickly, and quite literally, threw them away from Finn. Get away from the captain you whores. Tion shouted at them plenty of times. Hey, please don't kill anyone, Tion. Finn thought to himself. Out of the corner of Belle's eye, he saw a woman running off towards a huge tree. Hey, where are you going? He shouted to her and took off after her. Ace followed shortly after. Belle followed the woman, Chinthrope, up the tree stairs. Well, he tried. He ran up as fast as he could but she seemed to be a higher level than him and thus faster than him. Man, she's fast, he thought to himself while seeing her get farther and farther away. Did I get away? She thought to herself. Wait, I thought there were two of them. She looked behind Belle to see if she could see the other person but didn't see anyone. She looked forward just to see the mighty sword princess blocking her path. Stop, was all she said, and that was all it took. She knew running was pointless if the sword princess was going to be chasing after you. Okay, she yelled, frightened. She was not stupid enough to disobey her. Great. Job. Ace. Belle told her as he tried catching his breath. Wow, you're fast, he added. She nodded. She liked being complimented. All right, Belle said, taking one last deep breath. You're gonna tell us why you were running. He told her. She wasn't really threatened by him, but one look from the Sword Princess left her no room for argument. All right, I'll tell you. Just, let's go somewhere else, not in the open. She said. Okay, Ace said. She wanted to let Finn know what was going on but didn't want to send Belle on his own on the 18th floor without knowing where anything was. She could just take them back, but she felt something was off. She wanted to find out what was off. Ace led the both to a clearing off the main path to talk to the Chinthrope. She seemed to feel a bit safer here but still kept a guard up. Talk, Ace said. Poor girl didn't know what to say other than that. Okay, my name is Lulun Louis. This is all because of the dead guy. After I heard what had happened to him, I knew I might be next. Lulun said. Why is that? Belle asked. It's because of this stupid quest one accepted. I was supposed to bring this to the guy that gave the quest. She said as she held her bag up to emphasize her point. I was supposed to pick this up from Hasharna, the dead guy, and take it to him. Of course, he was alive when I picked it up. She said. What is it? Belle asked. This, she said as she grabbed some sort of item from the bag and handed it to him. The hell is this thing? Some sort of ball? He asked out loud. It seemed like some sort of sphere object wrapped in a cloth. I don't know. He never told me what it was and I wasn't supposed to ask. Keep it. I don't care. I don't want to die because of that stupid thing. Lulun said, scared that this might kill her. Can I see it? Ace asked, holding her hand. Sure. Belle said and handed it over. Ace had unwrapped the cloth and saw some sort of creature. It was hideous and alive. Just holding it made Ace feel sick. What is this? Ace thought to herself. She didn't like the feeling she got from the object. Not one bit. She wanted to just destroy the thing. Then it opened its eyes. A wave of unease flowed through Ace. She was frightened by it. She felt weak as it stared at her. Ace. Belle said, catching her as she fell down. What was that feeling? Ace thought to herself. She was rarely scared at times and this was definitely one of those times. Whatever that thing was, she did not want that anywhere near her ever again. Belle had picked it up but didn't feel anything other than creeped out. It kept staring at Ace even though he was holding it away from her. Keep that thing away from me, Ace shouted. Belle obliged. So, what now? Lulun asked them. You're handing it over to me if you want to live, a voice said. All of them turned to see a man in armor walking up to them wielding a giant long sword. His eyes seemed emotionless yet that made them even more terrifying. Who are you? Belle asked. Your worst nightmare, they stated bluntly. Belle, take Lulun and get out of here. Now, Ace told him as she got ready to fight. And take that thing with you. She added. You're not getting out of here alive. The man said. He then let out a whistle that summoned some snake-like monsters. What is this? Belle asked as he dodged one of their attacks. He went on the offensive and striked it, only for his sword to bounce off. He wasn't strong enough to hurt it. Ace had to step in so that Belle wouldn't get hurt. She slayed the nearest vine-like monsters around Belle and Lulun and told them to leave and find Finn. You might find that a bit difficult, the man said while pointing to the town. It was in chaos. The same monsters were there but there were many more attacking the town. The elites were busy fighting them all off. It was their first time fighting these monsters and didn't know how to effectively kill them, though simply powering through it seemed effective so far. Damn, Belle said. He put the thing in his bag and got ready to fight. Hand it over, boy, the man commanded. Yeah, no, something tells me that I should keep this away from you, Belle said as he got into a defensive stance. Get ready to fight Lulun. Belle told her. Funny story, I don't have a weapon. What should I do? She asked. Fight, Belle said while thinking of what magic he should try to use against this opponent. Belle had decided on what magic he would use but before he could start chanting he blinked and the man was instantly in front of him and punched him through his sword, breaking his trusty sword in the process, and breaking a rib or two and sent him flying into a wall. Ah! Belle yelled as he barely registered what had just happened. He looked up expecting another attack from the mysterious man but only saw him fighting Ace. The scariest part, if you didn't think what had just happened was scary, was that he was fighting against her pretty evenly. No, Scratch that, he was stronger than her. Every time she'd try to attack, he'd just block it effortlessly and took a few swings at her with Ace barely dodging them. This isn't good, Ace thought to herself. If this keeps up, she continued while looking at Belle hurt. If she kept holding back he would get hurt even worse. She had throw everything at him if she wanted all of them to see tomorrow. Tempest, she chanted, calling her wind to her side. Immediately, she began to push the man back. The hell, the man thought. This wind, it can't be. Am I really going to just sit here and watch them fight? Belle thought to himself. Tranquil rivers, flow through and purify those in need. Water cleanse. Belle chanted, using his water healing magic. It was a bit hard to chant it, considering he had a broken rib and just had the wind knocked out of him. The neat thing about this magic was that it didn't only affect him but also whoever he wishes to heal. He healed himself as much as he could and helped Ace out. It wasn't Riveria's healing magic, but she would take whatever she could get if it gave her any advantage over the foe she was currently fighting. Thank you, Belle. Ace thanked Belle in her thoughts. He healed a few scratches she had gotten before using her magic and she felt a slight increase in stamina. It was a small bonus from Belle's magic. She'd thank him later, but first she had to defeat this enemy. Come on, let's get out of here. Lulun whispered to Belle, trying to get him to leave. She could go at any time but she wasn't thinking straight. No, I want to help Ace, but I don't know how. Belle said. No matter what he wanted to do, if he tried to join the fight he'd only slow Ace down. He also couldn't use his magic right now, he had just used his healing magic and while using it would restore the stamina Ace had used, it would ultimately just be a waste of mind. His fire magic was too risky considering that he could hit Ace with it in the process, the same thing with his earth and ice magic. That left one element, lightning. He remembered how it left an electric field behind, so even if he missed it might help if it at least annoyed him and let Ace get a few more hits in. The problem was, would Ace be affected by it as well? He knew he wouldn't be affected, but he never tried it and tested to see if his familia would be affected by it too. Only one way to find out. Oh gods, please let this work out. Belle quickly prayed for this to work out. Come on, let's get out of here. Lulun yelled at him, trying to escape. If you want to go, go. But tell Finn and the others where we are. Belle informed her. All right, I'm outta here, she yelled as she ran away. Okay, here goes nothing, Belle said silently, hoping this would work. Holy lightning, rain down and smite my enemies. Lightning storm. Just as he had planned, or hoped it would, lightning rained down on their battle, but surprisingly, Ace wasn't affected. The man was, however. Sadly, Belle's magic stat was too low to deal any real damage to him, but it made him jump, which gave Ace the perfect opening to attack, and she destroyed part of his armor to reveal breasts. Wait, what? Belle asked. Obviously, there was a cloth wrapped around them. Get your head out of the gutter. But that meant this wasn't a man, it was a woman. The woman tore off the rest of her armor and pulled off her helmet. Thank you, that was getting annoying to wear, she said as she pulled the Mon's face off. That's right, pulled. She wore his face like a mask. Was she a psychopath? Yes, you. Were you the one who killed Hasharna? Belle asked her. What does that matter? She asked as she twirled her sword around, getting ready to fight without the added weight. Impressive magic, boy. Attack and healing magic. As a, what? Level 1. Too bad it's weak, she told Belle as she took a readying stance. This fight was far from over. It's annoying at best. Can't have any more interruptions, she added as she dashed off with newfound speed and grabbed and threw Belle at the same wall. Losing the armor was terrible for them. With the newfound speed she was able to both attack Belle and deflect Ace's sword that tried stopping her. Sure, if she got hit it would hurt, but now, she was evenly matched with Ace in terms of speed. Ace did not like her harming Belle and kept attacking, although with less success now. Did I really just make things worse? Belle asked himself. The electric field was still there, too bad the woman was too busy fighting Ace to even acknowledge its existence. Guess I messed up, huh? What do I do now? The smart thing would be to just leave and find help, but I already sent Lulun. I know she's not coming back, but she said she'd tell Finn and the others where we are, so help should be here soon. Still, should I really just be sitting here waiting to be saved? He continued. Back with Ace and the mysterious woman, they seemed to be at an impasse. Ace was still holding back a bit, not wanting to kill a person, and the woman seemed to be thinking about something as they continued exchanging blows. This wind. I was thinking about it when I first saw it, but now I know. You must be Arya, right? She asked. Suddenly, Ace stopped. She seemed to be frozen. Belle had barely tuned in and heard them. Arya, the great wind spirit. But she's been dead for centuries. Surely she's mistaken, right? And why is Ace shaking? Does she know something? Belle thought to himself. Not waiting for an answer, the woman took this opportunity to overwhelm Ace and landed a ton of hits. Belle immediately chanted his healing magic, but that didn't help much as Ace just got that damage back as soon as she was healed. He chanted his fire magic and aimed it right at her, which let Ace jump back and get her bearings. However, it barely did anything to her. She didn't even attack Belle for that, she solely focused on Ace, determined to finish the fight. She didn't even think of Belle as a threat anymore. What do I do now? Belle internally freaked out. All his plans were worthless as his magic wasn't strong enough to matter. He tried his lightning and fire spells again, which did nothing to the woman anymore, she just tanked the hits. Just what the hell was she? Ace wasn't able to keep up much longer. The moment she let her get those hits in, Ace was always on the defensive and never got a chance to catch her breath, which drained her stamina massively. Belle tried healing her, but the same results from earlier happened again and things just repeated for a while. It was a miracle that Ace hadn't gone down yet. This, however, didn't mean she was invincible, and neither was Belle. He had to stop as he had used too much mind and was on the verge of a mind down. He needed a break to recover mind. He had already downed most of the mind potions Riveria had given him and he was down to his last one. He drank half of it and decided to wait to see if he could get the drop on the woman anytime soon. He had taken a glance at the town, and while it was way better than earlier, there were still many snake-like vines left, which meant the elites were still fighting. What should he do? He didn't know. Suddenly, Ace was thrown into some rocks. The fight was ending. Was that all you had? I'm disappointed, Arya. I thought you had some more fight in you. She told her. As she got ready to deal the finishing blow, a wall of earth had suddenly appeared in front of her. What? She asked in disbelief. She simply punched through the wall and found nothing on the other side. She looked to where Belle was and saw that he was gone. Another element. Just what the hell is he? She asked to no one in particular. Elsewhere, we see Belle running towards the town while carrying a dazed Ace in his arms. He quickly chanted his healing magic, which helped her tremendously. Since he was only focused on healing her, she received the full extent of the magic. It didn't heal everything, but it was enough to bring Ace out of her daze. Belle, she asked, not believing her eyes. It's okay, Ace, I've got you, he told her as he kept running and smiled at her. Seeing Belle like this brought joy to Ace. It was nice seeing Belle worry about her and carry her to safety. In fact, he almost looked like a nice trick. A voice stopped her thoughts in their tracks. Before Belle could even react, the woman delivered a hard kick to his side, destroying his ribs and sent him flying. He was tossed aside like nothing. Ace was sent flying with him. Aaghh. Belle screamed in agony. It hurt like hell. Even after coming up with the idea to use his earth magic to delay her, he knew she'd catch up to them eventually, just not this soon. Belle, Ace yelled to him as she saw him lying there with part of his side caved in. He needed some help now if he wanted to see tomorrow. She saw the woman walk up to them, still ready to fight. She got up and ready, desperate for another battle. Who are you? She asked. She needed to know who she was. It does not matter who I am. What does matter is that you're coming with me, Arya, as well as that fetus. She said. If it makes things easier, call me Revis. She added. All right. Now Ace knew who to look for when she's healthy again. But first, she needs to survive the here and now. She needed to stay focused on what's most important now. Belle. He needs medical attention right now. She needed to get him to Riveria or get him a potion at the very least as soon as possible. The only problem is that Ace was still exhausted from earlier while Revis seemed completely fine. Whatever she is, it's not normal. She should at least be winded, but she seemed as ready to go as when they first started. Revis, knowing that this battle was all but won, decided that now was the time to collect her reward. getting the jewel fetus, which was her primary target, and getting Arya as a bonus. But before she could attack them, she was stopped by a spear and a staff blocking her attack. "Hello there. I see you have taken good care of my members. Please, let me show my gratitude," Finn said as he stared Rhys down. Rhys, completely confident in her abilities, decided to attack him to get this over with. What she didn't expect was for him to be faster than her and hit harder than she's ever had. 1 second she was ready for a fight and the next she was in a boulder. No, literally, inside a boulder. Just how strong was this hobbit? Level 5. No, level 6. Seems I'm outmatched, she calmly said. Finn calmly said while looking at his fist. "What's wrong?" Rivia asked. "I think I broke a finger from that," he said as he examined his fist further. Really? For Finn to hurt himself from that and she's still conscious, just who is this woman? Rivia thought to herself. Rivia, heal them, I'll take care of her. Finn instructed her as he readied his spear and set off. Rivia turned around and was saddened by sight in front of her. Belle was unconscious and Ace was holding him, checking him over. Under different circumstances she would have been thrilled to see her daughter show emotion, but now was not the time. "Rivia, please, help him," Ace pleaded to her. She was fine now, at least her body was, but she was worried for Belle. He was just a level 1 who took a kick from that monster of a woman. "It's all right, Ace, I'll heal him." Rivia calmed her down as she cast her healing magic. Belle's injury looked instantly better but would still need treatment on the surface. At the very least, he lived through this whole ordeal. Back to the battle, or should I say massacre. Finn used all his techniques on the red-haired woman who couldn't get a single hit and was continuously beaten. After a few minutes of this she decided that now was the time to call it quits. She warned them that she would be back before jumping off a cliffside into a river. Finn saw her hit the water but decided not to pursue as he had his members to take care of. "What happened here?" Tion asked as she made hers and the others' presence known. They finally took care of all the vines and made their way there. They were surprised to see Ace holding Belle in her arms but couldn't focus on that. They needed to know what the hell happened up here. There was a woman, a red-haired one, that went toe-to-toe with Ace. Finn told them. He didn't need to ask Ace what had happened to know that she was strong. And she overpowered her, he added, sadly. He had a feeling that this would push Ace to get even stronger to beat that woman. "Wait, really? She's stronger than Ace?" the twins asked in unison. "No way. Stronger than Miss Ace?" Lefia asked in disbelief. She couldn't believe that her idol could be overpowered by someone other than the king and the top 3 executives. Belle, Welf and Lily yelled as soon as they caught up and saw Belle unconscious. They were worried for their friend's safety. "What happened to him?" they asked. "He took a hit from said woman. Being a level 1, of course it would cause this much damage to him." Rivia told him. "Well, I don't think we'll be seeing that woman for the time being." Finn told them. "I suggest we head back to the surface. We need to take Belle to Ermid's place," he added. He led the rest of them back to the town to inform Boris of what had happened before they left. They soon headed for the surface with Ace carrying Belle on her back. She felt terrible for letting him get hurt when she was supposed to protect him. They all hardly said a word as they were too tired and embarrassed at what had happened. There was a murderer on the loose, a strong one to boot, and they had no answers for what had happened and only got more questions. As soon as they surfaced, Rivia and Ace headed to Diane Sect's place to get Ermid to heal him. Finn and the others went back home to tell Loki what had happened while Welf and Lily just went on their separate ways and agreed to check up on Belle at a later time. For now they were just tired from everything that had happened. "Will he be all right?" Ace asked Ermid. "Yes, he's fine. All of his injuries have been healed," she reassured her. "All of our healing, and from what you told me about how much magic he used, all he needs now is to let his body rest and he should be out until at least tomorrow. You can stay here the night if you wish," she told them as she left the room. "You heard her, Ace. He'll be fine," Rivia told her. "I know," Ace said sadly. She still felt responsible for him getting hurt. She is a level 5 and an executive of the Familia, yet she let Belle get hurt this bad. "Let's go home, Ace. We still need to inform Loki about what happened," Rivia told her. "Do I have to?" she asked, not wanting to leave Belle. "Unfortunately, yes. Come on, Riveria told her. Don't worry, Ermid will make sure he gets better. She told her. She really wanted to let Ace stay by Belle's side, but first things first, they had to know everything about that woman to prepare in case she attacks again. Reluctantly, Ace left with Riveria toward the manor. After getting there and informing Loki on what happened, everyone seemed to be on edge. So, there's a woman, Revis, out there who's strong enough to beat Ace in a fight even with the lass backing her up. How is he? Gareth asked. He's fine. His body just needs rest. Riveria told him. That's scary, Lefia said. Yeah, Tiona added. Normally she'd be all in for a fight, but after hearing what happened to Ace she couldn't help but feel a bit of fear. Everything's fine. If she just comes back, Finn can take care of her. Right, Captain? Tiona asked, believing her beloved would take care of things. Finn, however, was stuck in deep thought. Something wrong? Riveria asked. It might be nothing, but she seemed to not know of us. When we fought, she didn't know who any of us were. Not to stroke our ego, but nearly everyone has heard of us and know who we are. So, for someone to not know of us, don't you find that a bit odd? He asked them. That is strange, Riveria said. It's probably nothing, like you said. Gareth said, brushing the topic off. Yeah, all right everyone. I think it's time we all sleep now. No use losing sleep 'cause of this. Loki said, dismissing them. Only the three executives were left with her. They knew she wanted to talk with them. So, how was Bell? Really? She asked Riveria. He's fine, honestly. All he needs is to rest. She reassured her goddess. I hate that he had to go through all that. Especially on his first trip down there. Loki said sadly. It's my fault, Loki. I just wanted to show him around the floor, not throw him into a life or death battle. From what I gather, he's lucky that Revis didn't consider him a threat. At least until the end. Although I do admit, I'm impressed by his quick thinking. He said, remembering what Ace told him what Bell did to try to help. You couldn't have known. Don't blame yourself. And while I hate to see this, I can't wait to see how high up his stats will go in his next status update. Loki said, eager to find out how strong her child would get. Loki, Riveria said, I know. But come on. You're lying if you say you're not at least curious to see how much he improves. She told her. We all are. Now, I'm going to hit the hay. Gareth said as he exited the room. I'm going to sleep as well. Good night, you two. Finn said as he left the room as well. Well, let's see what tomorrow brings us. Riveria said as she too set off to bed. Loki was left alone in her office thinking about all the events that had happened. She hated that her newest member had to go through all of that so soon. And now he needed a new sword since his was destroyed. Or at least he did. Loki walked over to her desk and pulled out a long-shaped box and opened it, revealing a sword resting in its sheath. Well, let's see where this takes us. Loki said as she pulled the sword out and admired Hephaestus's work. Somewhere off in an weird green-like area we see the same red-haired woman, Revis, walking to a corner and sat down. She was thinking of all the events that happened today and knew that she needed to do some research to see just exactly who those adventurers were. They were stronger than her and that just wouldn't do. She knew she needed to get stronger if she wanted to fight them again. Well, at least today was not a total waste, she said while holding the monster fetus that she took from the boy. Multiple spells. He'll be a nuisance, she finished as she ate a monster crystal. But that's gonna be all for today. Thanks for watching everyone. See you guys next time. Have a nice day.